Hi, I'm the violent strain of gonorrhea that got released to the general public, Yvonne DeCulo. I told you every week it's gonna get worse and worse and worse.
Quit!
You can't quit, you're here for life.
And I'm that raspberry seed that's stuck just between your two back teeth, J. Glumm.
Welcome to the Victory Lap, where we discuss the most recent episode of All Stars Season 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Get into this like fortune teller fantasy. So we are on episode 5 already, which is crazy. We're halfway through the competition.
Jeez.
And we finally, 5 episodes in, had another mini challenge, which was really fun.
Wow.
It was actually a really cute little mini challenge. Who was your favorite?
Trixie.
Trixie was my favorite too. I thought Aja's wig was everything, but just Trixie's overall attitude, I don't know, she did it for me. And then we were given the main challenge, which is an Andy Warhol ball.
Andy Warhol was a very famous, influential pop artist. He was friends with everybody. Some of his most famous works of art are the Campbell's soup can.
And Marilyn Monroe,
and
right?
And then the Marilyn Monroe with the Quadatic. I mean, nobody's like Andy Warhol. He was one of a kind, for sure. Think somebody like David LaChapelle, who's just a very conceptual, outside-the-box artist, and Andy Warhol was one of the greats.
It's such an interesting category to create a ball over, and then especially to be like create a soup can that you have to wear down the runway, that doesn't have any shape or any silhouette. It was very intriguing, definitely like high art, you know, like very conceptual drag, but it just seemed like such a strange challenge.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like any of it at all. Andy Warhol has this famous piece of art that's just a Campbell's soup can. So you're going to make your own soup cans and wear them down the runway. Maybe I'm ignorant here. I'd have to do more research into I'd have to do more research into the soup can, and I want to say it was a commentary on commercialism. Doesn't that sort of make branding your own soup can kind of like stupid? I don't know. It was such a clunky way to tie it into Andy Warhol when it should have just been a Studio 54 ball.
Did you enjoy any of the soup cans?
I enjoyed Trixie's a lot.
Pep-A-Bismol was so creative and funny.
That was the funniest one to me, was that.
And she got to use that dark humor that we all know and love.
Miss, which proves once again that Trixie is best when she's pre-recorded. I also visually did really like BB's. It was a very, like,
there were a lot of pretty things in it. It was the same problem I had with her Flower Power dress, though, is it was just too much of the same color.
It was very dark.
And it was just too... It was too that.
It was very muted, but it was what Ross said, which was, it was something very, like, artsy, like you would hang that somewhere like that.
I appreciated just the campiness of branding Hallelujah, because that is Shangela's brand. And Halleloops, I mean, for the challenge assigned, Shangela branded herself, I thought, the best, because that's like her thing, you know? It was a challenge to brand yourself. Like the challenge that they had last All Stars, where they had to create a product that was them.
Yeah.
I thought Shangela achieved that goal the most.
It's my same problem with Shangela. It's her 3 cards and she's playing them. She's just turning it upside down. She's turning it backwards, but it's the same card.
I personally thought the 2 least successful were Aja and Kennedy. Aja, yes, because like I didn't understand the sweet tart thing, but then Kennedy because it was like, why are you branding your ugliest dress ever character? I don't think that's Kennedy. So for the Disco Eleganza, was there anyone who just like gagged you more than anyone else? I low-key was kind of underwhelmed by the entirety of the runway.
Yeah.
I really liked Aja's outfit. Sure, it wasn't quite the decade, but it was so well made and it was so versatile, and like the fringe, I don't know, it did it for me.
It was beautiful, and they kept saying it was too 70s, but like, I thought it was 60s. Especially in the disco scene, I feel like 60s and 70s blended together. I don't know, like, okay, so it was a little too 70s in some ways, but it was still 60s in others. I thought it worked. It was certainly the best made one. It was certainly the prettiest, the most detailed, and there was the most thought behind it. Maybe, you know, it was a little wrong on the era, but Jesus, they didn't need to tear into her like that.
I think it was probably because of how she sold it. I think maybe that also knocked her down, which seems a tad bit more petty.
Yeah.
If it was, you know, you didn't really know your references, so you're at the bottom, that just seems kind of petty if she made a nice outfit. I really enjoyed the complexity of Trixie's because it was so well made. To make a pant
jumpsuit.
And, I mean, it was separate. And to make them impeccably, like, there are people on Project Runway who can't do that. And that Trixie just busted that out in less than a day. Like, that's some freaking talent.
Yeah, and everything about it was great. The sort of flower child, it was like the judges said, it was Barbie Goes to the Disco.
Yeah, I loved it.
It was Disco Barbie, Studio 54 Barbie, and it was fantastic, and I loved it.
I really liked Dela's story. I thought she was really funny about, like, having a meeting at the Vatican and seeing the Taco Bell Chihuahua. Like, it was really funny, but the outfit just didn't work. It was just so safe.
It was very bland. And you know, it's funny, they ripped into Aja for looking too 70s and not enough 60s, but I really honestly got a 70s vibe from Dela's.
I almost got an 80s vibe from Dela.
80s. Yeah, even that. Like,
honest.
late 70s into 80s from Dela.
I didn't quite get
They didn't say a peep about that.
I wasn't crazy about BBs like they were. I just thought I thought the neck was really editorial, but then everything below that was just so... It was exactly what I think it was Ross said, like, car wash.
Car wash, yeah.
And I don't know, I didn't respond to it that well. And I really, really, really despised Kennedy's outfit because while she made a bathing suit like Dela, hers didn't have a neck or anything, and it had that really beautiful, I'm gonna say editorial again, sleeve that was on it, and the fabric was really pretty, but then it was just such a basic bathing suit, and I didn't like it. I thought she should have been at the bottom.
And that's what I wanted to say is I don't think Aja deserved to be in the bottom because Aja's can wasn't good, and she didn't know her references. Right. She didn't brand herself right, and she didn't know all her references, but she made something beautiful, and there was clearly a lot of time and detail and excellence put into the look she presented. Whereas Kennedy not only sucked at the can, she also made a crappy outfit, like
horrible outfit.
And they were all about it, but it was a swimsuit with a sleeve. And how many times have we seen that? I was not impressed with Kennedy's. Her face was beautiful. I didn't love
something in the eye was really strange to me.
I didn't love the hairpiece. I didn't love the choice of hair. Something seemed off about it. But
I loved that Shangela just stole Carmen Carrera's reggae wig and was like, I'm gonna wear this challenge.
Shangela fell hard this episode.
It should have been Shangela and Kennedy in the bottom, be completely honest.
Really
Aja had no business being down there, especially with Aja helping BB make her outfit. And I think we can all agree on two things. One, it's an edited show, so it's possible that BB said that she got help and we just didn't see it. The other thing is that we can all agree that those crocodile tears that she gave while she was eliminating Aja were completely unnecessary, and they were just that. It was crocodile tears and it was production. But I think beyond that, we can agree that sending hate and death threats and any of those things is completely unnecessary because it's a television show and it's about drag, and we should just celebrate the fact that it's on TV. We can be upset and we can be grumpy that somebody didn't make it into a safe position and that somebody was safe when they shouldn't have been. But sending death threats to BB is not fair at all.
There was a lot about this episode that really just annoyed me by the end of it.
Did it rub you the wrong way?
It really rubbed me the wrong way. It rubbed me the wrong way that Aja was so helpful to BB. From what we saw, Aja helped BB, was very helpful to BB. She took full credit for the dress from what we saw, wouldn't let Aja try to, interrupted Aja and kept cutting her off, wouldn't even let Aja plead her case, even though she let Shangela plead her case.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's because she already knew what she was going to do.
Because she already knew, and she didn't even give her a chance. Cried some crocodile tears and kicked Aja off the show. The layers of this that bother me is that that's, just from Aja's perspective, that's just not fair. I don't agree with BB being in the top. I thought she did a great job, but I don't know.
Who would you have put there instead, though?
I know. I think there was nobody else other than Trixie to put in the top. I don't know. BB didn't seem like the best of the top three, because the top three would have been Trixie, BB Ben.
It's almost like this exact challenge from last season, the branding one, where Katya totally knocked that out of the park. Katya killed that challenge. And then Alaska was okay, but she wasn't the best by any circumstance. Like, it was kind of a boring, it was tape. It was stupid tape. And nobody else did great, so it was kind of like, well, Alaska's in the top by default. So I think that's exactly what happened this time.
And that's fine, and that is fine. But it just, maybe there was something we didn't see on the screen, but just the level of praise BB was getting. And yes, she's always beautiful, and she is so talented. She is mother. She was the first. But I don't know, so there was a really weird disconnect, and then them picking on Vendela.
You need to stop for a second. Mason is picking up poop with his mouth.
I'm so glad that Trixie, finally did well. She got the praise she deserved. But then we get to the lip sync, and it's a flippin' Diana Ross song.
Like, there was... So I don't think that Trixie might as well have just sat down on the stage. Like, there was no way she could have won that.
It was a Diana Ross song, and the queen who just slayed at Diana Ross and the Diva off. There were so many unfortunate things about this episode that just rubbed me the wrong way, and it was that they all happened. BB is amazing. I do appreciate and value her. I do not appreciate how people are making this that they're being racist about BB being in the top. I do not appreciate death threats to her. If she earned it, she earned it. It's just this episode was so poorly thought out for the concept of what it was going to be with the Warhol ball, and then it was so poorly edited and executed. I honestly, if I never see this episode again, I will be
a better
perfectly
person.
Content. This was right on the level with Alaska's tantrum of like things like I could have lived my whole life without this episode. I would have been happy to just get a recap and not have to watch this episode.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I really hated this episode.
At the end, though, we did get what you thought was going to happen. They did reveal
with the hoods.
queens showing up on the stage, and people have already shown like that the Aja's tattoos are the same as the one in the middle. But how sickening would this have been if it would have been like, "Are you ready for your revenge?" And then the next episode opens up, and the first queen, because BB's there, first queen takes off her hood and it's Tyra. Second queen takes it off and it's Raja. Third queen takes it off and it's Sharon. That would have been so sickening. But I mean, we already. It's pretty obvious that it's Chi-Chi, Aja, and either Morgan or Thorgy. Because it's not Milk. Milk's way taller than the person that was there on the left.
Yeah.
But I mean, how sickening would that have been?
That would have been sickening.
Because I was like looking at the tattoos and one in the middle, and I was like, Raja has arm tattoos. Maybe it's her, but Raja has tons of tattoos on her fingers.
She has the henna.
So I'm like, it wasn't her. But that would have been so cool.
It would have. I'm very confused by why
it's only 3.
Only 3. Why 2 queens didn't come back. So season 10 of Drag Race has been announced and is coming. What, like 5 days after the
1 week after All Stars finishes.
1 week after the All Stars finale, and there's all these rumors and titillation that it's because All Stars 3 turns into such a dumpster fire by the end of it that they're trying to just like glide right past it. And honestly, the way this episode went,
more like that.
I fully believe it. Just with all these like boom, boom, boom bad things happening at the end of this episode. With only 3 of the eliminated queens coming back. Like,
and the rumors of what's gonna happen next.
And then all these rumors flying around which may or may not be true. Don't lend credence to it if it's not blah 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 blah. But like I'm nervous to get through these next 5 or 6 episodes.
I'm just nervous for this next one. This next one I'm very nervous about. Your team is gone. You only have Dela left.
What are the chances? What are the freaking chances?
I have not even kept score because I just don't want to upset you anymore.
It's not, there's no point. Even if Vendela destroys the competition and wins the whole thing.
You're behind.
I'm so far behind. I lost my entire team.
It's gone.
I can't win this.
I have 4 team members on that stage. So thank you all so much for watching. Let us know what your thoughts were in the comments below. And make sure not to send death threats to any of the queens because it's inappropriate. And yeah, just click down in that box there and fill it up with whatever you want. And we will see you guys all next week with another review. And stay tuned because we're going to be talking about the season 10 queens. See you all then. Bye.
Bye.